Hi, welcome to this second video in this training where we are looking at management styles. We're going to finish off by looking at some modern management theories. The PDF that you have worked through discussed some theories that went back to the 1950s and 1960s, such as McGregor's Theory X and Theory Y. So we're going to focus on Daniel Goleman, who was a researcher working in early 2000, and he came up with this theory that there were 6 different leadership styles. So we started off with pace setting. So this effectively is do it my way. I will tell you how to do it and you do it that way and everything will be fine. Commanding, do it because I say so. This was certainly the approach taken when I started working in the 1950s. You will stamp the folder that way because I told you to. Don't argue, don't discuss it, don't want to know your views, just get on and do it. Neither of these 2 styles are considered to be that effective when we're looking at modern management techniques. Visionary. What is the bigger picture? Politicians are often visionaries. They will talk about the big picture, the vision for the future, their ideas. Affiliate. This is where perhaps we will put people first and the task second. This is something that we could do possibly in the short term. We have an individual who needs considerable support, or possibly a team that is struggling, just coming out of surge, and perhaps the team needs a little bit of a breather. Not a very good idea to adopt this approach in the longer term, as if you ignore the task, then potentially we could lose work. Democratic. This is the idea that we're actually going to do everything together. So we've got a problem, we've got an idea, let's get everybody around the table, let's discuss the solution, let's work through it as a team. Coaching. This is where we would support people. Let me help you to develop. The idea of Goleman's was that whilst we will have perhaps a default style, or a style that naturally fits us best, and there is a quiz that you can undertake after this. There's a link to it on the PDF which will give you your default style. Mine was democratic as a matter of interest. That we need to be fairly flexible and we need to adopt different styles depending on different situations and different individuals within the team. We need to be careful, however. Whilst we can be a bit of a chameleon, we need to also be open and honest. And if we could keep switching styles from one day to the other, then we could lose the trust of our colleagues. Linked through to the work done by Goleman is the concept of emotional intelligence. So again, when I started back in the 1980s, it was very much management by coercion. So I'm going to tell you what to do, just get on and do it. Now we want to develop the idea that people will work hard on a voluntary basis because they want to, because they enjoy it, because they see the importance of doing certain things. It's about empathy, it's about honesty, it's about listening, and it's also about trust building. You will have individuals perhaps in your team who aren't putting in the voluntary effort. You can try coercion, but that often doesn't work. You need to get to the bottom, the root cause. Why are those individuals not feeling possibly valued? Why are they not enjoying their work? It may be that they simply don't want to do the job. The job has changed. Adjusting in all its forms has changed considerably. Or it may be that perhaps they were recruited into a position, they perhaps had some idea of what the role would be like, and when they actually ended up in the role, it perhaps was a bit different to what they expected, and as such they don't feel motivated or engaged. We then move on to some work done by Mintzberg. This was an idea that managers will basically fall into and become a natural fit for a particular management role. So that they identified three areas. So they identified art, which is visionary and ideas. They identified a craft, which is much more about experience. You manage by experience. And finally, they identified managers who will use data. They will analyse situations. And we all have our own sort of preferred methods. You often hear the phrase, I don't do detail. And that may well be someone who has a good vision, they have a concept of what they want to do, but when it gets down to actually perhaps implementing that vision, they're perhaps not so good because their style is very much visionary, and that they would naturally fall into a role where that style best suits them. Mintzberg also felt that the style adopted by a manager will be based on their experiences of other managers that they're working at, and other life experiences, but also about their personality, their sort of the natural way that they approach things. Finally, there's been a recent movement towards authentic management styles. This came about really as a result of the financial crash and certain sort of scandals. The view was that managers need to be perhaps more authentic in their approach. They need to be genuine, honest, and trustworthy. I think we'd all aspire to be those things. That we need to understand our own abilities. We need to have good self-knowledge, but also have knowledge and awareness of the culture of the organisation that we work in. Okay, thank you very much for listening.